Hello everyone, George here, and we're back again with my working with OpenCV and Python. In this particular video, we're going to take a look at using pretty much the ability to show images on the screen. So why don't we go ahead and do that? So let's go to Start. We're going to dive on down to our Anaconda, and we are going to go to Anaconda Navigator. And inside of Anaconda Navigator, we are going to run our environment. So once that loads up, we'll be ready to go. Here we are, go to environments, we have OpenCV, I'll go ahead and hit run, and open terminal. There we go, I'm going to hit Spider so I can work inside of the Spider environment. Okay, so here we are inside of Spider with a new untitled document. And what I want to do is actually file, save as. I've already gone ahead and created a folder on my desktop that's for this particular project. I'm going to call this OpenCV Pics. And yeah, you'll see a Python file there. Yes, I already have done everything I'm about to show you to make sure that I'm not showing you things that are wrong. Anyway, let's just call this tutorial 3. Enter. And what we want to do in this video is take a look at something very simple, and that is showing images. Specifically, we're going to look at showing images in OpenCV as well as showing images using Matplotlib. Therefore, we need to import several things. The first is, of course, OpenCV. So let's go ahead and do that by doing import, and we're going to do CV2. Enter. Now we need to read an image in order to show anything. So let's take a look at my desktop really quick and see what I've actually done here. And if we go on over to OpenCV load pics, here we go. We can see I have a 0.png image right here. It's of my second son, Arthur, and we are going to use that as our image information. So let's go ahead and do a image is going to be equal to cv2.imread. If this is not familiar to you, you need to go back to my prior video where I talk all about imread and imwrite so that you can read and write images in and out of OpenCV. Anyway, first, we're going to specify the path name, and since this particular file is within that directory, all I need to do is use the actual file name. So I'm going to do 0.png, and then I'm going to do how I want to process the file. Do I want to bring it in as a color image, a grayscale image, or something else? I'm going to do cv2 dot, and then we're going to do im, and here we have all these different types. I'm going to choose any color for right now. That's going to basically mean any color format that happens to be there, and that's fine for what we're dealing with right now. If you want to be more picky, you can be so, or if you want to convert it to grayscale, you can do that within those parameters as well. Anyway, now we need to actually show the image on the screen. In order to do that within OpenCV, we're going to be using the Imshow keyword. So let's go ahead and do cv2.imshow. And what that takes first is the name of a window that we want to create. The idea is that as we create different windows, they may have names. How do you differentiate one window from another one? Well, you do that through a string value. That is the name of that particular object. So I'm going to call this window 1. You can call it whatever you want to. You just need to give it some kind of a name. And the next part of it is, what image do you want to show? Well, I want to show it whatever I happen to store within the image variable called image. Okay? So that's going to actually create that for us. Now we need a couple other things to make this actually work properly. The next thing we need is cv2.waitKey. This is basically asking us to say, hey, how long do you want this window to display for? And for my particular work, I want this window to display until I decide I don't want it to display. I'm going to hit a 0 in there. If you put any other value in there, that's how many milliseconds. Read that again, or listen to it again, milliseconds you want that window to stay up there. So make sure you put a big value in there if you want it to stay up for a while. And then once I'm done with this window, that is, once I press a key on the keyboard to say, hey, I'm done with this, I want to do cv2.destroy all windows. That means all windows that are created are going to be destroyed. So let's look at this again. I'm creating through Imshow a window called window 1. It's going to show whatever is inside of image. I'm going to call wait key, which basically halts everything and says, hey, until this person decides to press something on the keyboard, I'm not doing a darn thing. And then finally is CV2 destroy all windows, which means I don't care how many windows were created, I'm going to destroy them all. That means that technically we could have made a lot of different windows. So just keep that in mind. That's what you want to do if you want to kind of nuke everything, get rid of all of the different parts of the program. Let's go ahead and hit run and see what happens. So here we can see I hit run and we have the picture of Arthur, my son, and it looks great. No problems here. So let's go ahead and hit a keyboard key. I'm going to hit the space button. And what you'll notice is it closes. Why? Because wait key executed, a keyboard key was pressed, and then finally CV2 destroy all window was called, and I lost all of my windows. Okay, that's interesting, but maybe we want to do things a little bit differently. And I don't know about you, but in some of my past projects, if you happen to watch the C++ side of things, I was actually doing named windows. And named windows basically means that you create a name for a window, and you can hold that window until later on. What I mean is you don't create it and then show the image. You create the window and you keep it kind of in your pocket for a while. And then when you want to, you can show it off. And then if you want to destroy it, well, you can destroy it by the name of that particular window. It's a lot more precise than what we've shown so far. So let's go ahead and get rid of this bit and show you something a little bit different. So let's do a cv2.named window, which is another option. And we provide our own name. I'm going to say I love CV, OpenCV, right? And the next part is what we want that window to be structured as. And there are a lot of different options. We're going to do cv2.window. And you can see all the different ones available. There's auto size, free ratio, screen size. Basically, these are different ways you can make the window pop up. I'm going to choose free ratio because that means I can resize the window with my mouse clicks and make it wider or taller than it actually is. Now this will distort the image, so you got to be careful with it. If that's not what you want, then don't do this, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. The next thing we want to do is cv2. Let's see, Imshow. And what do we want to show? Well, we want to show our window, and what's the name of that? I love CV. If we, spell things right. There we go. I love CV. I'm going to make sure it's correct by copying that line and pasting it right there. Perfect. And then we choose the image. Well, I'm going to use the same image we have so far with my son. And then we're going to choose, okay, we're going to do the cv2.wait key. You can't get away from wait key. It's always going to be there. So just make sure you always include it. And then finally, we get to choose what we want to destroy after a user presses a key. And we're going to do cv2.destroy, except we're not going to do all windows. We're going to destroy a specific window. The idea here is that you can tell OpenCV exactly which window you want to destroy. Imagine you had several of them on the screen at once. Maybe you don't want all of them to go away. Maybe you created some sort of an interface where you have like 2 different images up and you want the user to select the one they want to use, so you destroy the one they selected. Let's go ahead and hit run and see what happens. So run, there is Arthur. It's kind of cramped. If we go ahead and resize it, as you can see here, I have full control to resize the window. I can scale it up, scale it down, and of course, he becomes either incredibly thin or incredibly wide, depending upon what I choose. So let's try auto size this time and see what happens. If I hit run, you can see it automatically sizes it to the correct pixel height and width. Let's try a different one really quick. So let's do cv2.window. And we did that already. Let's try full screen and see what happens. Hit run. Nothing this particular time. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's try a different one, window, and let's do keep ratio and hit run. Now let's see if we grab the bottom, what happens. So as I grab the bottom, whoa, look at that. It's not keeping a ratio. So do understand, even though these things say what you think they should be doing, they're not going to do that. Let's try a different one. cv2.window and aspect ratio. Let's try that one. That makes more sense. So if I click and grab, does it keep the aspect ratio? No. I can do whatever I want to. I can grab from this side or that side. Once again, not doing what you expected it to do. Let's try again. Window, and let's do prop full screen. Why not? Hit run, and what happens? Certainly doesn't look full screen to me. And once again, I can scale it to pretty much anything I want to. What am I trying to show you here? Don't believe what you see in the documentation. Try it out yourself. It might not work the way you expect it to. Just because it shows you aspect ratio doesn't mean it's going to keep the aspect ratio. So be careful with whatever you happen to do. This was viewing images through OpenCV. That's fine and great, but you might actually want to use something else, something more popular, and that is Matplotlib. Why don't we take a look at that? So we're going to do import, and we're going to do, let's see, Matplotlib dot, and then we want to do pyplot, py, right there. And then we're going to say as PLT so that we don't have to write all that stuff every single time. Whoops. Okay, we're going to do that again. We're going to do import. And we'll do matplotlib dot pyplot dot as PLT. We don't need the rest of it anyway, right? And it doesn't matter. And we can go ahead and do an import. Now, understand, first of all, that matplotlib.pyplot is not an image processing library. It's meant to display plots. Specifically, it's meant to do that in a way that emulates MATLAB, which is a program that's very popular with engineering schools. It shows data information very well. It's got a lot of packages around it. I particularly hate it. I absolutely loathe it. I think it dumbs down engineering, but that's beside the point. This particular module emulates the same functionality to make you plot something like you would inside of MATLAB. So first of all is the fact that Matplotlib can only load PNG images in, at least as far as the last version I checked. So if you want to load in different kind of images, you're going to want to use OpenCV. And that is why we always import OpenCV. So CV2. Now with this, if you're familiar with MATLAB, you know exactly what to do. You're going to specify a bunch of commands. You're going to specify, hey, I want to show the image. And all the commands you did operate kind of like a state machine. You set everything up and then you say, hey, show the image based upon everything I told you to be, and it's going to pop up on your view. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to do plt.imshow, and it's going to ask you for an image to actually put up on there. And we're going to say just image right now. We got to add that image because I got rid of the image. So let's do image is equal to, and we're going to do cv2.imread. And we want to do, what was it, 0? Can we do all files? Yes, let's do all files. So here it is, 0.png. So Control A, Control C, hit cancel, please. And we're going to do quotes and cv2.imread. And we're going to just do any color depth is fine for us. And let's go ahead and hit run really quick and just save it out as whatever. And it actually came out over here in our IPython area. Now, what I want you to see that's very important is the fact that the red, green, and blue channels have been flipped. Notice how my son's face is actually blue. I did not give him frostbite. He's not dead from hypothermia. This is the fact that Matplotlib and OpenCV work in different, basically color spaces. Matplotlib, as well as the rest of the world, work in RGB, whereas OpenCV works in BGR, the ass-backwards way of handling image data. So we're going to need to convert the image data. So why don't we go ahead and do that by doing, let's just say image cv2.convert cvt color, and we're going to specify the image data first, so image, and then we're going to say what we want to convert it into. So that's cv2.color underscore BGR2 RGB, which is right there. And then we're going to go ahead and show that image. So let's go ahead and hit run. And there we go. We get my sun right there. And he is actually visible in the correct color spectrum. So there you go. 2 different ways of visualizing things. You can use OpenCV's things, or you can use Matplotlib's. It's entirely up to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. So long, goodbye.